Good evening and welcome to Hope TV News Watch on this 11th March 2022. I hope your week went well. Many thanks for tuning in. My name is Grace Wangui and a sign language interpreter tonight is Fiona Mweresa. Now, hours after the National Cohesion and Integration Commission NCIC summoned ODM party leader Raila Odinga over the Madoadoa remarks that he made during a rally in Wajir County on Wednesday, Odinga has responded saying his remarks were taken out of context. NCIC chairman Samuel Kobia summoned Odinga on Friday, saying the remarks are deemed divisive at a time when the country is heading to the general elections.
Kwa mwanajeshi wa baba, mpaka wewe uwe na bunduki na risasi. Mko tayari? Mko tayari? Hatutaki madoadoa hapa Wajir.
ODM leader Raila Odinga has defended his Madoadoa remarks that he made on Wednesday during a popularization tour of the Azimio la Umoja movement in Wajir County. While addressing the crowd in Kisumu, Raila said he was misunderstood and that his remarks were taken out of context. Odinga was quick to apologize to those who were offended by the use of the word.
Na kule Wajir, candidates wote ambao walikuwa wote ni wa Azimio. Wakasema ati Wajir ni Azimio zone. Na mimi nikasimama, nikatoa pongezi. Nikasema ya kwamba Wajir ni Azimio zone, hakuna madoadoa. Sikumaanisha ya kwamba tutaki kabila lingine kule Wajir. Kwa hivyo kama kuna mtu yeyote ambaye hakunielewa vizuri, ambaye ameona makosa, mimi naambia yeye pole sana. Pole sana. Pole sana.
But Odinga's apology might not have come if the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, did not summon him over the same. The commission, through its chairman Samuel Kobia, directed the ODM party leader to appear before it to shed more light on his Madoadoa utterances. Odinga, while in Kisumu, said his remarks were different from Meru Senator Mithika Linturi's remarks that were made in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County during a UDA rally in January this year.
Hatuwezi kupagua Mkenya yeyote kwa msingi ya kikabila. Yile madoadoa nilitumia kule Wajir ni tofauti sana na ile ya Eldoret.
It is interesting to note that Linturi was arrested over the remarks, but his case was later dropped after the prosecution failed to prefer charges against him. Grace Wangui for Hope TV News Watch. Now, speaking during a press briefing on the current status of COVID-19 in the country, Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe called on Kenyans to maintain social distancing and avoid crowding in public spaces to ensure risk of spread of COVID-19 is limited. He, however, encouraged the use of masks in all indoor functions. But lifting of mandatory wearing of masks has been welcomed with mixed reactions from a section of Kenyans. Here is Dolly Murigi with more.
You are advised to wear a mask.
It has been 2 years now since the mandatory wearing of masks was put in place by the government. Since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020, every Kenyan was required to wear a mask to protect himself from the coronavirus, which so many Kenyans arrested for ignoring the government directive. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe announced on Friday that Kenyans are now free to walk without face masks in public places.
The mandatory wearing of face masks in open public spaces is now lifted.
A cross-section of Kenyans have welcomed this directive with mixed reactions despite low cases of COVID-19 in the country.
Which is very good because saizi ni wakati wa wanasiasa na tunaona vile wase wanakusanyika pamoja. Maybe one or two out of many anaweza kuwa na COVID ama anaweza kuwa affected. So it's something so amazing and I support that. Wakienda kwa gathering wavae mask.
Mask pia tumevaa sana. Some of us tumekuwa vaccinated. So hakuna haja sana mask.
Kagwe, however, called on Kenyans to continue adhering to the public health and social measures and exercise personal responsibility.
We urge all Kenyans to continue to adhere to the public health and social measures and exercise personal responsibility. Kenyans are encouraged to ensure frequent hand washing with soap and water, use hand sanitizers at all times, and generally make a movement of being clean and a hygienic nation.
On gatherings, all in-person worship will resume at full capacity as long as all the congregants and worshippers are vaccinated against the virus. Friday's directive by Kagwe might be a big blow to Kenyans who had boomed in the face mask selling business since the peak of coronavirus pandemic.
Vile tu walituambia watu wavae mask, wangetuelezea tu hata leo in advance, ndio watu wenye walikuwa wametengeneza mask wameinvest na pesa zao kwa hiyo biashara ya mask, ndio watu wakuwe safe. Wasiagamie.
Dolly Mirigi, Hope TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Dolly, for that report. Now, the One Kenya Alliance coalition is now a done deal after 6 parties committed their allegiance to the alliance by signing the coalition pact on Friday, just a day before the Azimio la Umoja National Delegates Conference. In their statements, the principals said that they remain open to dialogue with other interested parties and coalitions in order to team up for a grand coalition. But in case the talks do not bear any fruit, they will have no other option but to go to the general elections alone. The 6 political parties include Wiper, KANU, NAK Kenya, UDP, and the latest parties to join the political formation being Irungu Nyakera's Farmers Party and David Ocheng's Movement for Democracy and Growth Party. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, OKA now says more parties are set to join the coalition, with Jimmy Kibaki's The New Democrats Party being in consultation with them.
We have finally signed the One Kenya Alliance Coalition Agreement. Oh, yeah. When we postponed and said we needed time to fine-tune the clauses, the naysayers thought that was the end of One Kenya Alliance.
One Kenya Alliance has finally signed a coalition agreement after postponing it in February, making it the first political formation to formally commit their allegiance to work together ahead of the August polls. The OKA coalition brings together Wiper, KANU, NAK Kenya, UDP and the latest parties to join the coalition, which are the Farmers Party and the Movement for Democracy and Growth Party. Speaking during the signing of the agreement in Nairobi on Friday, OKA principals said they are all set to engage with like-minded political formations. However, they reiterated that they are ready to go all alone in the August polls if the talks are not successful.
We have made sacrifices before. We are ready to make more sacrifices. But we also expect the Kenyans will know that no individual is indispensable. We are going to have to form one juggernaut. We talked about the possibility of a grand coalition. But we have our coalition here. And we are set. If others don't want to engage, we are ready to go to the wire. Correct? We are set. I think after this, nothing stops us. If we find that people are intolerant, people don't want to listen to others, we are set with the instruments. But we are ready also to have dialogue.
We've said we will talk to other formations similar to ours, but that does not put a lead on us also going it alone. We are still open, we're still discussing. There are things that are going on, and we believe if they go on well, we will be a bigger team. If not, this is a good representation of the Republic of Kenya.
The signing of the deal has happened just a day before the Azimio la Umoja National Delegates Conference, which will take place on Saturday, with OKA insisting that they will engage other political formations as equals, with total openness and equality. The principals further stated that they will name their presidential flag bearer soon.
This is a coalition of the willing, and any coalition should be a coalition of the willing. A coalition demands openness, mutual respect, sharing of ideals. And when any party feels uncomfortable, they should be able, with notice to others, to walk away, because it is a coalition of the willing.
So mine today is to let you know that we made ourselves not a promise to the people of Kenya, but a covenant. with the people of Kenya, because promises are there to be broken. But a covenant is a covenant, and we all know that. And our covenant is that we'll put our people first.
With Irungu Nyakera's Farmers Party and Ugenya MP David Ochieng's Movement for Democracy and Growth Party being the latest to join the political formation, Oka now says that they are in talks with other parties, with Jimmy Kibaki's New Democrats Party being in consultation with them.
We believe in the vision of one Kenya, in the vision of actually where all of us as one, we have the right to belong in one space where we feel that we share similar values.
Don't think that we must unite somebody else to move. All of you here are politicians, and politicians always, think that they're the best. If you don't think you're the best, then you can't move.
Jimmy Kibaki came to see us yesterday. He is consulting, and next week, New Democrats will be joining Oka. So we are moving and growing.
With the One Kenya Alliance having signed the coalition agreement, Oka now says it will engage other political formations in a possibility of forming a larger coalition. But if the talks don't bear fruit, Oka says they will go it alone in the August polls. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
Thank you, Kennedy, for that report. Now, moving on, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has assured border operators the government has no plans to do away with the border sector. According to Matiang'i, the sector employs millions of Kenyan youths, and doing away with the sector would greatly affect the economy. Matiang'i, who was addressing Crime Journalists Association of Kenya members in the company of ICT CS Jomo Sheru, said it is time to have frameworks to streamline the border sector. At the same time, the two CSs challenged journalists to embrace fact-based and analytical reporting.
There are 22 million rides, border rides every day. Multiply 22 million, the basic border ride will cost you 50 shillings. Multiply 22 million times 50. That is at the very bare minimum, that's how much money moves in that sector. In 2013, when President Kenyatta took the oath of office, we probably had less than 300,000 border riders in the country. Today, there are about 2.4 million. That tells you about the growth of the sector and what is happening. The problem is that, rather obviously, when a sector grows like that, it also comes with challenges, as it were. It's infiltrated by criminals, by, people who don't think right. Everyone knows border is a fantastic thing. Which government is going to terrorize or do away with a sector that employs 2.4 million of its people? The amount of money that moves in the border sector is incredible. I've given you an example. 22 million rides a day. Multiply that by a basic cost of one ride. That's 50 shillings. That's how much money is moving around.
Now, moving on, Kenyan bikers associations have come out to decry harassment by police officers due to the recent directive by President Uhuru Kenyatta on crackdown of all border operators. Speaking in Nairobi, the bikers claim they are oftenly harassed by the police despite having proper documentation. They are now urging the government to grant all private bikers access to all areas.
Crackdown exercise has affected some of our members. Our private bikers are being harassed and coerced while having all the necessary documentation. It is our humble request that our office, that your office address this matter. That's the NTSA Inspector General Office and other government bodies that are implementing this, and further that you grant compliant private bikers unrestricted access to various parts of the country.
We also have female riders. We are also very keen on riding. We do this as a hobby, just like a private vehicle owner. We are using our motorcycles in the same manner. So recently we have had a few ladies who are riders who have been harassed, stopped by the cops, They've been accused of riding on the pavement. For information, we are very, very compliant. We even encourage female riders, male riders to follow defensive trainings. We do take initiatives and do trainings individually. And we are keen to be good citizens and to work according to the regulations of the government. So kindly, we are requesting the government, kindly take this thought and work on it, because it's not fair when we have compliant citizens riding on the streets and they're being harassed, beaten down, and this just doesn't work right for us.
We have had many members arrested, some released. I would say in the last 3 days, I would say personally I've handled like 6 of them, and I know others have been arrested and released, but others have been arrested and charged wrongfully. Some have been implicated of charges, like the case I'm talking about. It was an issue of insurance, but the charges that were put were pavement, and then later on when they went to court, it was released because the charges had been. So there are few others who we don't have the data, but we know majority of us. But the bigger picture is the fear we have. We would have more arrested, but we have fear. Even today we actually drove here. We don't drive, but we ride. We actually drove here because of fear of arrest. So if we talk about numbers, we'll talk about so many numbers, but we don't want to be speculate about it. But we are in fear, we're in terror because of what we are seeing on television, what we are seeing on social media, and we are asking, when will this end?
Private Bikers Association of Kenya has been out to various police stations together with us, our representatives from Unified Bikers Association, trying to talk to the policemen in charge, trying to talk to the traffic police, talking to them about the compliance. We have our DL up to date, we have our bike insurance, we have riding gear, we have helmet, we have reflectors, etc. Some of them we've tried to reason with them and they've agreed to release some of our bikers. Some didn't and had to be taken to court. Yes. But fortunately, we are seeing good reception from some of the policemen, like Central Police Station. The officer was welcoming to us, Unified Bikers Association of Kenya plus PBAK, and hopefully through directives from above, because this is an order from above. Most of them won't be listening to us, especially given that this is order from above, and we hope the team from above that brought this issue will iron it out, will send letters to the respective authorities in charge of enforcement to make it easy for us.
Now, the latest survey report released by Mizani Africa has put Deputy President William Ruto ahead of ODM party leader Raila Odinga in terms of the most preferred presidential candidate. Ruto is the most preferred with 49.2%. Odinga comes in second at 45.1%, while Wiper party leader Kalonzo is ranked third with 2.9%. On the running mate factor, Ndindi Nyoro is the most preferred candidate in DP Ruto's Kenya Kwanza coalition, while Lee Kinyanjui is the most suitable for the Azimio la Umoja movement. As Tess Njenga now reports, Mizani polls revealed that Kenya Kwanza is the most popular political coalition in the country with 49.2%, ahead of Azimio la Umoja with 45.5%.
If elections were held today, Deputy President William Ruto would lead ODM party leader Raila Odinga with 49.2% of the votes. Odinga would have 45.1% of the votes, while Wiper party leader Kalonzo Musyoka would come in third at 2.9%, according to a latest research poll by Mizani Africa.
49.2% of our respondents are in consensus that William Ruto should be the president. Only 45.1% voted for Raila, 2.9% for Kalonzo Musyoka, undecided of 2.1%, and 0.7% mentioned others.
The Mizani Africa polls released on Friday shows that Ruto has gained more popularity in Western region from his Kenya Kwanza coalition.
IBC election 2017 results comparative. Ruto had 44.6%. Okay? Raila had 54.2% in this county, 2017. Now, if you look at that, you see Ruto has gained around 3.2%, and now together with his newfound friends from Western, he's able to get 47.8%.
Kenya Kwanza is leading as the most popular political coalition with 49.2%, ahead of Azimio la Umoja, which has 45.5%. Oka Alliance comes in third at 2.3%. In the eastern region, Kalonzo seems to have lost popularity in some of his strongholds, leading only in Kitui, while Raila seems more popular than Kalonzo in Makueni, as Ruto leads in Machakos County.
Kalonzo still leading in Kitui County with 40.9%, Raila coming second with 33.3%, William 24.4%, undecided of 0.5%, and others got 0.9%. Machakos, William, for the first time in Lower Eastern now, he leads at 43.0%, Raila coming second at 31.3%, Kalonzo third at 17.2%, undecided of 7.7%, and others got 0.8%. Makueni, again, we have a different kind of lead here. Raila leads here, 43.5%. Okay, Ruto comes second with 28.9%, Kalonzo 26.7%.
According to the opinion polls, Raila is commanding the lead in most parts of Western, Lower Eastern, Coastal, Nyanza, and Nairobi regions. And on Kenya's confidence in the IEBC conducting free and fair elections, 68.9% responded positively, while 18.4% said no, and 17.7% are not sure.
18.4% are saying no, we don't believe that. 70.7% are not sure. Now again, if you combine the no and not sure, because the not sure is bordering more or no, because they're indifferent. We have about 36.1% that are not clear or of what is likely to happen.
24.7% of Kenyans do not believe that party primaries will be free and fair in the country, as 55% are optimistic.
Reasons why the 24% are saying no, it's not going to be free and fair. Some of them include vote buying, it's already evident today, corruption, nepotism, voter intimidation is already happening, voter rigging, ethnicity, insecurity.
The survey was conducted between the 21st of February and the 5th of March 2022. For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Tess Njenga.
Thank you, Tess, for that report. Now let's do one more story before we go for our first break. Now, the Speaker of the National Assembly and Democratic Party leader, Justin Muturi, has censured the government over what he termed as neglect of Kenya's economic and development sectors. Speaking in Kilifi town, where he met with grassroots leaders from the coast region, Muturi, who has declared interest in the presidency come August general elections, decried low agricultural production in an area that he noted had a high production capacity.
Ethiopia population yake ni karibu 1,000,000. Hapa DRC, hapa Rwanda, hapa Uganda, Burundi, South Sudan. Lakini mwaka nenda mwaka rudi, hizo program zote ukienda kwa wizara ya kilimo utakuta ati kulikuwa na mpango. Hata wanasiasa sehemu hii kila wakati wakizungumza pale bungeni, nikiwapatia nafasi, nasikia palm, biksa, cashew nut, nani amezuia? Kweli itakuwa sisi kazi yetu ni kulia tu kila siku? Itakuwa kweli kazi yetu ni kulia kila siku? You know, wanasema it's only a fool who does one thing repeatedly and expecting different results. Tumerefuka. We must move out of that kilio and implement what we preach. Na jambo muhimu ni kuangazia wale ambao wanahusika.
Let's now go for that short commercial break. We'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and Star Times Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live.
Yesu ndiye njia. Juu ya mwamba huu nitalijenga kanisa langu.
Hapa leo hii tuko na msikiti wa Mariamu, msikiti wa Yesu.
Kumbe kuna msikiti wa Yesu.
Ukiandika msikiti wa Yesu Kristo, mwana wa Mariam, weka injili ndani, hubiria watu injili.
Kitabu ya Yohana inaandikwa 110 AD na Ufunuo Yohana 248 AD.
Na Qur'ani.
Mimi nakueleza habari ya Yesu kwanza, ufahamu hiyo kwanza.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Qur'an imekuja mwaka 600 baada ya Injili.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Biblia inasema pepo la nini? La uaguzi. Pepo la uaguzi maana yake inaweza ikajua wewe nyumbani kwako umetoka saa ngapi. Unajua mapepo anajua hivi. Kwamba leo ulikula chakula gani.
Kama Bwana Yesu alitumwa kwa wana wa Israeli peke yao, wengine wetu ambao tunamwamini, basi sehemu yetu iko wapi?
Yesu ndiye njia. Kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Spotlight.
Do you feel that they are in a place where they can effect a Barack Obama moment?
When you hear the word of God and you hear Jesus is speaking.
Real talk on real issues.
You know the Bible says faith without works is dead.
The truth of the gospel that will survive the time is not a health and wealth gospel.
When there is time to harmonize and bring one composite amendment.
With idealistic, thought-provoking guests.
So people come to be serviced, to be encouraged, to be empowered.
When the storm is over, you desire the closeness you have with God.
Hosted by Reverend Edward Furi.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, Eric Deuri is the Law Society of Kenya, LSK president, after he was elected during elections held on Thursday. Deuri, who is replacing Nelson Harvey, will serve for the next 2 years. Harvey was bundled out of his office by a caucus of branch chairpersons before the end of his term last year, forcing him to quit so as to vie for the Westlands parliamentary seat in the upcoming elections. The new LSK boss beat former LSK Vice President Caroline Kamende by 726 votes at national polls held on Thursday, March 10th. Deuri, a corporate audit specialist and advocate, garnered 1,811 votes against Kamende's 1,085 votes. The polls were conducted through electronic voting by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, across 25 designated LSK polling stations countrywide.
We are on the brink of a new dawn in the management of the Law Society of Kenya. The membership, in their wisdom, found that I have a better vision for the society. I know we've had a tumultuous period in the society, and I believe that it is now time to say that the past is now behind us, and we must all, in unity, forge forward and do the best that we can do for the Law Society of Kenya.
Now, the drought situation in Garissa is currently at crisis level, and the situation may move to emergency if the rains do not come in the months of April and May. Garissa County Commissioner Boaz Cherotich has assured area residents that the government is working round the clock to help all households affected by the effects of the drought. The February drought assessment done by the National Drought Management Authority, NDMA, shows that the county was at a crisis level where at least 20% of the population had been affected by the drought.
4 of them also reveal.
As we move towards the month of April and May,
And if we don't receive rainfall during this time, it's likely that the situation may move from crisis level to emergency level. At the moment, according to the assessment which was carried out recently, we are at a crisis level, meaning that 20% of our population, 20% of our population, that's 168,000 people, have been affected. And therefore, what we are doing today is to receive reports from all agencies who are doing activities in this county, so that we can now plan and give focus, target those populations which require immediate support. However, what the national government has done is to release relief food to the affected population. And therefore, I can confirm to you that all the 9 sub-counties have received relief food, which have been delivered and already distributed. Last week, we were in Fafi to witness the distribution. The cash transfer program is very popular. Most of the agencies are doing this. And we have recommended that in order to ensure the issues of double duplication and double registration, we have a team which brings on board, which brings together all departments doing cash transfer activities, so that we now have the data. This will reduce cases of duplication.
Now, let's move to Lamu County, where police are detaining a 30-year-old murder suspect at a police station in Lamu Island. The suspected man is alleged to have killed a 21-year-old after they disagreed on political matters by stabbing him on the neck. According to Lamu Central OCPD Geoffrey Osanan, the suspect had fled the crime scene at Wiyoni village but was later arrested with the help from members of the public.
Kutoelewana kati yao, ndio mmoja kati yao vijana alikasirika, akaenda kuchukua kisu, akaja kudunga mwenzake kwenye shingo. Tutafanya uchunguzi wetu tujue kiini hasa ya wao kuweza kukosana kiwango kama mpaka wakadungana visu.
Kitishwa kwa haya mambo ni mambo ya kikatili, na sisi tunaona magaidi wa kumwituni. Kumbe pia hapa kisiwani pia kuna magaidi, kuna watu ambao wana ukatili, sisi tu condemn. Hii ni mambo ambayo yametutia hasira kubwa sana, na tunataka serikali itukue wajibu wao ya kuweza kuhakikisha huyu mtu hawa watu waliohalifu wameshikwa na watukuliwe sheria.
Now, farmers in Embu have been asked to make good use of expected long rains spanning from March to May that, according to the weatherman, will be above average. Embu County Director of Meteorological Services, James Gadura, said the forecast indicates that the entire county, including the dry areas of Mbeere South and North sub-counties, will receive enhanced rainfall that portends good fortunes to farmers. Speaking after a 2-day multi-sectoral meeting with the experts in agriculture, livestock and public health, the director said they do not anticipate a lot of hazards such as flooding, loss of life and property, as the rainfall will not be that intense.
Tunawahimiza wachukue hii fursa, wa take advantage, wa harvest a lot of the water runoff, wa harvest pia the roof water, maji ile inatoka kwa roof catchment, hiyo harvest yote for the purposes of fodder and pasture production.
Kama kwako hakuna kwa mboma hakuna choo, tunamuhimiza kabla ya tarehe 15 mkuwe mmechimba choo. Kila mtu akuwe na choo na amefunika mzuri. Kama hajafunika mzuri, mjue mvua ikinyesha hiyo kinyezi sitaenda na chini na sitaingia kwa mto, na mkikunywa hiyo maji tutapata kipindupindu.
Na tumeona ya kwamba Embu County itapata mvua kiwango ya juu kusida vile inatakiwa kuwa inapata, yani is above average, but very straightly above average. Hii ni kusema imeongezeka kidogo. In other words, hii mvua itakuwa mzuri kwa wakulima na kwa mfugo.
This is the time ya kuharvest maji, na kuna njia mingi za kuharvest runoff, hata maji ya mvua kutoka kwa mabati ya nyumba. So tunawahimiza, actually that's what we are telling them. Tunawahimiza wanunue mitungi. Hii ni wakati ya kununua storage structures. Mitungi iko ya kustore maji. Wale wako na mabati waweke gutters. Zile ziko na zimeharibika wa repair. Sana sana mashule.
Now, massive vandalism along the Olkaria-Narok power line, which is under construction, has delayed its commissioning by close to 1 year. The contractor involved in the works on the 63 kilometers power line has lost over 12 million shillings due to the vandals who are targeting power cables. In the latest incident, vandals have hit sections of the power line, mainly in Narasha area on the border of Narok and Naivasha, cutting away over 3,000 meters of the transmission cables. The move comes a couple of months after the president banned scrap metal business following vandalism of various power towers in the country.
Sisi kama kampuni tumeathirika. Kama kampuni ya China Comes tumeathirika kwa sababu tumekuwa kila mara tunakuja tunarudisha hizo cables. Baada ya kurudisha hizo cables wanakuja wanaimba, tunarudisha wanakuja wanaimba, and towards the end of last year, that is December, I think the case was reported, iliripotiwa on January mahali walikuwa wanashikwa, lakini December nafikiri ndio walifanya huu wizi wa hii area. Na tulikuwa tunaomba kama inawezekana serikali ifuatilie kwa umakinifu, ijue ni nani ambaye anahusika katika hii wizi.
Hiyo siku hii wizi imekuja kutendeka. Imetendeka kama wiki mbili, sio siku moja. Wameiba huko kwanza kwa shamba, wakaiba tena, wakafika sasa karibu na nyumbani.
Watu tulisikia sauti watu wakikata juu. Tukasikia sauti mlipuko ilipogonga chini. Ilitoa sauti kubwa na hata ilikuwa ni hatari kubwa sana. Kwa sababu kama ingekuwa imeshika hali ya stima yenye iko hapa juu, ingeleta madhara mingi sana. Unajua hii bomba zimeconnectiwa na stima kutoka ile ingine na zile zingine, ingeanza kulipuka na kuchoma maboma zenyewe.
Now, Transform International Kenya has launched the Usawa Mashinani program in Kakamega County to create a framework of communities engaging with planning and policy-making processes at the county level. The policies should address the contemporary community inequities that cause agricultural inequities. Speaking during the launch, TI Kenya Western Regional Manager Elizabeth Duya said the agricultural program provides an opportunity for more impactful change which can reach the communities at the grassroots level.
This project, we're implementing it in 4 other counties, that is Machakos County, targeting the health sector. We are also going to implement it in Turkana County, targeting the agriculture sector, and Elgeyo Marakwet County, covering the health sector. So we are looking forward to enhancing processes in the agriculture sector and also working closely with the duty bearers. Challenges that we are looking at is on access to information. Because you realize that when we are looking at proper planning and procurement processes, we are going to need information. And that is why we are engaging with other duty bearers so that we can have information flowing freely from the duty bearers to the citizens to enable us engage. Another challenge is citizen participation, the capacities of citizens. How well are citizens able to interact with documents from the county government so that they can effectively participate? So we are looking at empowering citizens, building their capacity.
Now, farmers in Nyandarua County have been urged to team up in cooperatives to benefit from the agricultural projects as contractors rush to conclude them on time. County Executive Committee member for Agriculture, Dr. Karitu, told potato farmers in the county to form cooperatives as a way of gaining a competitive edge in the sale of their produce to processors. 3 more cold potato storage facilities promised for Shamata and Jamini and Kinangop areas will go a long way in alleviating the farmers of post-harvest losses estimated at 40%.
Kila farmer tunahitaji in future awe amejoin cooperative, na ndio tunahimiza ndio hata mambo ya marketing itakuwa rahisi. Kwa hivi hiyo ndio tunahimiza, na tuna work very closely na wakulima, and I can say right now we are happy, we have got quite a number, si kidogo, more than 5-10 cooperatives kidogo. Nyumaye tutakuja tuzishanye pamoja ziform union moja, ndio tuwe na hiyo nguvu. Tukienda kuuza kwa soko, tunaenda tukiwa kwa wingi na tunaweza kufanya bargain.
We are looking forward for this cold storage to work, to be launched later in the year, so that it can also serve the potato processing factory that is coming up here next.
So the projects that we came to see today are very critical to Nyandarua, to the residents of Nyandarua County, especially the issue of potatoes. You know how Nyandarua has been struggling with the sale of potatoes, about processing, and that's why we came to see. We want to ensure that by June, this project is on, and farmers will be happy.
Now to some international story. More than 70% of South Sudan's population will face extreme hunger this year as conflict and climate-related disasters deepen food scarcity. The United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, has warned of a fresh hunger crisis threatening millions of South Sudanese already battered by floods and a resurgence of conflict. The alarming news comes weeks after the United Nations warned the country risks of a return to war, with hundreds of civilians killed during outbreaks of inter-ethnic violence. Now to our feature of the week. Children living with disabilities have often been discriminated against due to their conditions. The discrimination has shattered many dreams and might have contributed to a lot of premature deaths emanating from them not being taken care of properly. But this has been a different case at Joytown Special Primary School in Thika, Kiambu County. Joytown is an inclusive school for children with physical disabilities and able-bodied children with around 300 school children. In a special feature tonight, Dolly Mirigi tells us about this special community.
60 years ago, Kenya was an infant country. As a country dusted itself from years of colonial rule, the independence of the country was slowly taking shape, and Joytown Special School in Thika was established in 1962 in Thika as a rehabilitation center for children with physical disabilities. The children were enrolled from all over Kenya. The founders envisaged a place where the children would stay, nourished with the Word of God and entertained by the church and visitors, making them feel happy and less disadvantaged away from their homes, hence the name Joytown, Mji wa Furaha. The learners here are unique with deformities in their bodies but still perform and work well with modified environment and well-designed classes to suit them.
We believe that our disability is not inability. These learners can just perform, they can work when the environment is modified and adapted for them to be able to move around and navigate the environment. So you realize that these learners, despite the conditions that they have, us as a community of Joytown, the facility has adapted quite a number of facilities for these learners so that they can move around the school, so that they can do whatever they are supposed to do. You realize that in their classes we have designs, curriculum designs, which we use now, which are adapted to suit learners with physical impairment.
In due time, the school was recognized by the government and was staffed with trained teachers. The students performed well in education and extracurricular activities such as music, where the school became a household name in the yearly national music festivals.
These are all trophies won at the national level. So basically we say our learners are actually very good performance when it comes to academic and also co-curricular activities, more specifically in swimming. Swimming is one of the therapies that our learners with physical impairment go through. And this is why we have a swimming pool for them to be able to swim and have that what we call a hydrotherapy. Yeah. So swimming is very important to them, and they really perform well. If you look at that trophy, for example, that is a trophy, first class, And this is nationally.
Children in Kenya with disabilities are extremely vulnerable. These children battle rejection coupled with hate and malice. Many are married off as young as 11 years because the families see them as a burden. Some children have even been rescued from traffickers where their bodies would have been used in witchcraft rituals. But the environment here is appealing. Teresi Njeri has worked at Joytown Special School for the last 31 years and has transformed to become a mother to this humble community.
Kuna wale ambao kabisa hajiwezi hata kuvaa nguo ama kuamuka. Sasa kama hao mimi nakuja, huwa tunaingianga 6 ya asubuhi. Diposa tuwe tumewasaidia na diposa waende breakfast 6:30. Unaamuka, unakuja, unawavarisha, wengine unawaekelea kwa wheelchair, na hata saa ingine unaweza kuta wamejiendea choo. Sasa kama hao lazima uwaoshe ama uwatayarishe mzuri ndio waende.
While surgery may be the most drastic and immediate provision for a child in need, many children also require follow-up in rehabilitation. Bethany Kids, an organization that partnered with Joytown Special School, has been dedicated to providing the rehabilitation that patients need to renew their lives. As Caroline Kakau tells us, it's here at this special school that they provide therapy for over 250 children with conditions ranging from cerebral palsy and spina bifida to polio.
We transform their lives through rehabilitation. And in rehabilitation, it's all about occupational therapy, physiotherapy, and we also provide them with assistive devices, quality wheelchairs, and any other devices that they may need in their mobility, or rather in their function. So most of our staff are trained in the provision of those devices, and we ensure we provide appropriate devices.
Therapists here provide therapy for every child in school and at least once a week by working closely with teachers and school administration to schedule therapy sessions. These include active, passive, and resistive exercise, training in ambulation, both on the parallel bars and without support, teaching appropriate wheelchair transfers, and referring students who require surgical intervention.
When they break for the holidays, before COVID, they used to break for the three holidays, April, August, and then there's that long holiday, December. There's that lack of continuity of therapy, especially when they go for their holidays. So sometimes we end up going back to where we are. Yeah, but we do try our best to train the parents, to train the caregivers, so that they can help in the continuity of therapy even when they are at home.
At lunchtime, when it's time for meals, those kids with lesser physical movement limitations help their colleagues to access the dining hall. The kids truly care for one another, and there is joy all around, which is different from happiness, something that Francisca Najipu, a beneficiary from Bethany Kids, can attest.
When I came here as a client, I was one of the clients in Bethany Kids. I didn't have hope, and I just came from Samburu, and I had disability and I had wounds. And when I came to Bethany Kids, I got hope. I was sure about the love of Jesus, and I came to know more about the Lord in Bethany Kids. I grew deeply in the Word of God, and I got encouragement, and a part of medical, a part of surgery, a part of a prosthesis that I got in Bethany Kids. The main thing I got is about Jesus Christ, and that changed my life and even the life of my family. Yeah, my family came and know the Lord Jesus through that. And what thing I do, because my life was changed through Bethany Kids, and then now I'm here to help, even to tell God to use me to change the life of the children with disability, transforming them through what I am doing.
Miriam Mukaminjoki is an orthopedic technician at Bethany Kids, For 3 years, she has helped make fit walking aids and perform other support duties. She says that this task is at times challenging for the kids. Lack of knee joints to aid the children in various activities is a bit tough for them.
A child comes, then we assess, and if maybe, for example, he or she needs an orthotic, for example, there is an AFO for a foot, so we will assess and see the need, and then we measure, we take measurements, and then proceed to the fabrication. There are challenges. One, the machine can make you have a wound. You can sometimes cut yourself when doing it, and some challenges you find in children. They are children, so you have to follow up with them. They don't know that the appliances, they need them, so you have to follow up and make sure they wear, because it's for their benefit.
However, it's not an easy task at all, even from these beaming smiles from the children. There are many challenges, among them being the loss of a pupil.
In a class, we need to have, those ones with physical impairment are supposed to be 15. But you realize that if you go through our classes, you find that we have more than that in the class, just because there are no rooms. If only we had rooms, we could be having 15 learners per class. But because of shortage of rooms, we have to put them together so that they can be taught.
For the shipment of those wheelchairs, it is so expensive for us. To ship like a container of wheelchairs, it's a lot of money, and we just charge very little money for the people who come to us to get those wheelchairs, just 5,000 shillings. And you find there are some who are not even able to pay for that because of lack of finances. So that is one area we feel there's a lot of support that is needed, so that we are able to meet the needs of these children and their families.
Challenges is for, of course, the still community that they're not accepted these children, and when a family who are there who don't understand the disability or even understand this child, that gets frustrated, because when we are here we tell them, but when they go home something is different for them. So the challenges we get, because maybe the understanding of the community and even the churches too, because this child cannot go to church. So when we are here, tell them about God, when they go home, they just stay at home. When they have weddings, there's anything, they cannot go. So I think we need people to understand that children need just support and even to live like any other children. So even another challenge is when the child passed away. Of course, you get stress up for all of us, staff, and even it's a cancer, ramenta, because you stayed with them like your children. So when they passed away, you get emotion, but it's okay. God knows everything.
Millions of children in Africa do not get the surgery they need, living a painful life and thereafter die at a very young age. But here at J-Town Special Primary School in Thika, Kiambu County, they're on a mission to transform the lives of the children. Tole Mirigi, Hope TV.
Thank you, Dolly, for that well-compiled report. Now, moving on to some business news. Oil company Ola Energy has announced part of its expansion plans through the commission of Marhaba convenience stores that will provide customers with fresh food items for breakfast, lunch, and snacking. Strategically located in respective service stations, the convenience stores will offer customers an opportunity to enjoy a quick stop for fresh food items as they get other vehicle maintenance and LPG services on the go. Speaking during the official opening of Marhaba Convenience at Ola Energy Langata Service Station, Ola Energy Group Chief Executive Fayed Altoy said the company's objective is to continue giving priority to customers in meeting their needs for speed and convenience in their purchase journey.
Ola Kenya, in my country, Kenya, with our staff here, and I'm very happy for here. I saw Ola, it's nice brand here, and for the service, and congratulations for the opening new Marhaba here.
So today we celebrate another milestone, the Marhaba Convenience Store, which is part of the Ola retail experience operated by African entrepreneurs to provide fresh and quality foods on the go as our customers make stopovers, fuel and car maintenance at our service stations. Marhaba joins the list of a healthy partnerships operated by African entrepreneurs, which include All Good Food, Simbisa and Softbuy.
This is a case example of a station which have made a one-stop shop, in the sense that at the under canopy we are offering our optimum fuels and we are offering our lubricants. At the back court we are having the C-store, and at the side court behind this building there is an Ola auto care.
Now for some sporting action, KCB RFC head coach Curtis Olago says the team is now shifting focus to the upcoming Kenya Cup playoff match against Strathmore Leos and other competitions this season after exiting the Kenya Cup in semis. Olago admits the squad is strong and ready for the upcoming tournaments, including the Enterprise Cup set for the 19th of March and the 7th circuit, which will begin in May. Kenya Cup 2021-2022 final will be played in Kakamega at the Bull Ring, where 6 times finalist Cabras Sugar will be looking to secure its second ever Kenya Cup title, while Menengai Oilers will be going in for their maiden Kenya Cup title.
We had targets set for this season. In terms of our game model and how we want to play and how we want to approach games, and always keep improving on our skill set. Now we've got a team of good coaches in Dennis, Mshila, Shamia, Benja, Brian. You've got a team of coaches which is which can do a good job, because all this was set out and planned before the year started. So we are just moving on. We are just moving on with our plans according to how we set out to do them. It will be a good game. It will be a good game. A final. That's like a final to me. I mean, it's a game of rugby. We both enjoy expansive game of rugby. It will be a good game to watch. I think that we need to get our game going on in terms of what we set out to do. So we are still on course in what we want to do. We keep improving so that next year in our game model something else will change. We'll need to set another path again next year. So we keep improving and we keep on making sure that we stay ahead of the pack.
Now, Barcelona failed to score for the first time in 17 games and had to settle for an underwhelming 0-0 draw at home against Galatasaray on Thursday in the Europa League round of 16 first leg. The Spanish side dominated the ball with 68.3% possession, but had issues breaking down a stubborn and organized Galatasaray defense. Any draw would result in the game going to extra time, and from there it will be penalties if things remain level. Now, and that sports news brings us to the end of this live broadcast. Many thanks for keeping me company. Enjoy the rest of your programming and your weekend. My name is Grace Wangui, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Fiona Mweresa. See you again next Friday. Bye-bye.